I never thought I'd be the guy whose heart gets auctioned off in a boardroom scandal. But there I was, 19 and broke, staring down the barrel of a fake engagement to the most untouchable man in New York. It started 3 months ago, on a sticky August afternoon in the quad of Columbia University, where the air hummed with the desperation of syllabus week. I was Eli Harper, journalism major with a chip on my shoulder the size of my student loans, nursing a lukewarm coffee and pretending to care about my laptop screen. That's when he appeared. Like a glitch in the system, too polished for this chaos of flip-flops and frisbees. Josiah Kane. Even saying his name felt like whispering a curse. CEO of Kane Dynamics, the tech giant that powered half the apps on my phone, the one whose face smirked from Forbes covers in the library. He was 42, silver threading his temples like deliberate highlights, broad-shouldered in a suit that probably cost more than my tuition. And gay? The rumors swirled like exhaust from his chauffeured Escalade. Whispers of discreet affairs, a string of models who vanished into NDAs, but nothing concrete. Until the leak. It hit the tabloids that morning. Kane caught in closet. Anonymous hookup app scandal rocks tech titan. Blurry photos of him in some dive bar, arm around a guy who wasn't me. The stock dipped 5 points before lunch. His PR team was scrambling, and somehow, in the fever dream of that day, my name ended up on his radar. I was scrolling X when the DM pinged. Not from a blue-check influencer hawking crypto, but from @JosiahKaneOfficial verified with a follower count that made my stomach flip. Eli Harper? We need to talk. Coffee. Now. JK. No emojis, no bullshit. Just command. I should have ghosted it, blocked him like the spam it screamed to be. But curiosity's a bitch and mine had teeth. Plus, the byline on my campus paper article about corporate hypocrisy. Yeah, he'd read it. Called me incisive. Flattery from a billionaire? Sign me up. We met at a hole-in-the-wall cafe off Amsterdam Avenue, the kind where the barista spells your name wrong on purpose. He was already there, nursing an espresso that looked comically tiny in his grip, sunglasses perched on his head like a crown. Up close, he smelled like cedar and stress, subtle cologne warring with the faint tang of sleepless nights. Mr. Harper, he said, voice low and gravelly, the kind that could close deals or break knees. Thanks for coming. Eli, I corrected, sliding into the booth. My heart hammered like I'd chugged 3 shots of espresso myself. And it's not every day a mogul slides into my DMs. What's the play? Damage control interview. He leaned forward, elbows on the scarred table, and for a second, the mask slipped. Just a flicker of exhaustion in those steel blue eyes. Worse, I need a shield. You. I laughed, sharp and disbelieving. Me? I'm a sophomore with ramen for dinner and a blog no one's read. What, you need a fact-checker for your coming-out speech? His smile was tight, professional. Something like that. The leak's a setup, rival firm, probably. But the board's panicking. Investors hate uncertainty, especially when it smells like personal volatility. He said it like volatility was code for the truth he couldn't voice in earnings calls. I need to neutralize it. Fast. Public relationship. Stable. Believable. My brain short-circuited. With who? Some actor? Influencer. With you. The coffee turned to lead in my gut. Me. Awkward. Out since high school but buried under layers of sarcasm and hand-me-down hoodies. Gay, sure, but the kind who swiped right on quiet baristas, not tycoons. You're insane. Why me? Your article. You get the game, the spin, the hypocrisy. And he hesitated, glancing at the door like paparazzi might burst in. You're clean. No scandals. Relatable. The all-American boy next door shtick. Campus sweetheart, right? That viral thread about student debt last semester. I flushed, hating how he knew my metrics better than I did. Flattery won't get you a yes. What's in it for me? 20 grand. A front. Plus internships at my firm, real ones, not coffee runs. And when it's over, a glowing rec letter that opens doors. Hell, I'll fund your grad school if you play it right. 20 grand. Rent for a year. Books. Maybe a down payment on dignity. I should have seen the trap. the way his eyes lingered a beat too long, calculating. But I was 19, ambitious and tired of scraping by. 6 months max, I said, extending my hand. And no funny business. His grip was firm, warm. Deal. That was hook 1. The second came 2 weeks later, at the annual Kane Dynamics Gala in Midtown. I'd been primped like a show pony. Tailored tucks from his stylist, hair gelled into submission. We walked the red carpet arm in arm, flashes popping like gunfire. Smile, Eli, he murmured, breath hot against my ear. You're my fiancé now. Fiancé. The word had dropped casually over takeout Thai that week, part of the script his team scripted. A whirlwind romance story. Met at a campus event, bonded over shared values, whatever that meant. We'd announced it via a joint ex-post. Me in a casual button-down. Him looking every inch the power top, caption. From boardrooms to dorm rooms, couldn't be happier. Love wins. The campus exploded. Texts from friends. WTF, Eli? Theo hot dad alert. Professors emailing congrats. Even my mom called from Ohio, voice thick with tears. Honey, is this real? It wasn't. Not yet. But standing there, his hand possessive on the small of my back, something stirred. Unwanted, electric. The betrayal of my own pulse. The night blurred into schmoozing. Handshakes with venture capitalists who eyed me like a curiosity. Small talk about the future of tech ethics, while I nodded like I belonged. Josiah was a machine charming, deflecting questions about the leak with jokes about misunderstood midnight snacks. But in stolen moments, away from the crowd, he'd lean in. You're killing it. Natural. Praise from him felt like sunlight after rain, warming cracks I didn't know were there. We escaped to the balcony for air, the city a glittering beast below. He lit a cigarette, rare vice he claimed, and offered me a drag. I took it, coughing like an idiot. Not a smoker? He teased, voice softening. Not unless it's existential dread. I handed it back, our fingers brushing. Pause. Too long. This fake, right? All of it. His exhale curled into the night. For now. Then quieter. But you're good at this, Eli. Making it feel easy. I swallowed, the skyline blurring. Easy? It was a lie so big it could swallow us whole. But in that moment, with his shoulder brushing mine, I wondered if the hook was already set. In me. Word count crept up as rehearsals blurred into reality. Mornings at his penthouse for photo ops. Me in his kitchen, flipping pancakes while he pretended to read the journal. Afternoons on campus, where whispers followed me like shadows. Eli's engaged? To him. I played the part, blushing at questions, posting stories of date nights at dive bars he slummed it up for. Josiah's reputation stabilized. Stocks rebounded. Mine? I was the envy, the mystery. But late nights, alone in my shoebox dorm, doubt gnawed. Was I just a prop? Or was the way he looked at me, soft, unguarded, starting to rewrite the script? The first real crack came in October, at an alumni mixer in the engineering hall. I was nursing a flat beer, dodging well-wishers, when his ex materialized. Victor Hale, lithe, blonde, the kind of beautiful that cut. Former model, now consultant. He'd been the one in the leak photos. Eli, right? Victor purred, sidling up with a martini. Josiah's latest acquisition. Goo. I stiffened. Boyfriend. And you are. History. His laugh was glass shards. He always did like them young and pliable. But careful. He discards when the shine wears off. Before I could snap back, Josiah appeared, arms sliding around my waist like armor. Victor. Didn't see you here. Voice ice. Just congratulating the happy couple. Victor's eyes flicked to me, pitying. Break a leg, kid. He vanished into the crowd, leaving venom in the air. Josiah's grip tightened. Ignore him. Old news. But as we drove back in silence, his driver navigating the FDR, the poison seeped. How old? I asked finally. 2 years ago. Messy breakup. He's bitter. Bitterness looks good on him. Petty, but it slipped out. Josiah glanced over, streetlights carving shadows on his jaw. You jealous? Of a ghost?
No.
The thought of him with Victor, real raw, twisted something feral in me. He reached over, thumb brushing my knuckles. Good, because this... He nodded at our linked hands. It's working. You're working. I pulled away gently. For you, maybe. The penthouse loomed, all glass and echoes. That night, as he poured scotch in the study, I lingered in the doorway. Josiah, what if it's not enough? The fake stuff. He froze, glass midway to his lips. What do you mean? I mean, heat rose in my cheeks. What if I want more? Not the act. The real. Silence stretched, heavy as the city hum outside. Then soft, Eli. A buzzer shattered it, his assistant, emergency call from the board. Crisis averted, but the moment, shattered. I retreated to the guest room, heart pounding. Hook 3, the realization that lines were blurring, and I was the one tangled. As leaves turned in Central Park, our charade deepened. Public dates. Walks in the village, him in jeans that hugged like sin. Me stealing glances at the way wind tousled his hair. Private ones. Movie nights on his couch, legs tangled innocently. His laugh rumbling when I quoted bad dialogue. He opened up in fragments. Midwest boy made good. Lost his parents young. Built an empire on grit and grief. I shared too. Ohio roots. The ache of coming out in a town that prayed harder than it loved. Dreams of exposing truths that hurt. But Victor lurked. Anonymous tips to the press. Kane's toy boy, paid to play? Josiah's team quashed them, but campus buzz turned sharp. Friends pulled back. A prof cornered me. Is this ethical, Eli? I doubled down, posting a photo of us at the Met. His hand on my neck. Possessive. Caption. Art and heart. Grateful. Red heart. About time. But betrayal brewed. One November evening, post-Thanksgiving haze, I found the file on his desk. Unlocked laptop. Screen glowing. Emails from Victor. End it or I go public with the contract. The money trail. Everything. My stomach dropped. Contract. I'd signed one boilerplate or so I'd thought. Fine print. Non-disclosure. Performance clauses. I was an employee, not a partner. Josiah walked in then, towel drying his hair from a shower.
Eli.
What's? I spun the screen. This all scripted. Even the real parts. His face drained. It's not, Victor twisted it. I was protecting you. From what? Looking like a fool. Tears burned. I fell for it. For you. Eli, wait. He reached, but I backed away. The door slammed behind me. I fled into the night, subway rattling like my pulse. Campus lights blurred as I ran, the engagement ring. He'd given it that week, for optics. Heavy in my pocket. Fake. All fake. But as I collapsed on my dorm bed, phone buzzing with his texts. Please, talk to me. I wondered if the greatest betrayal was my own. Believing a mogul could love a kid like me. Dawn crept through my blinds like an unwelcome guest. The kind that lingers after a bender. My phone was a minefield. 50 missed calls from Josiah. Texts stacking like accusations. Eli, it's not what you think. Let me explain. I'm coming over. I powered it off, burrowed under covers that smelled like stale regret. Victor's words echoed. Pliable. Discarded. Was that me now? Yesterday's news? Contract voided? Class was a blur. Ethics seminar. Irony's cruel joke. Where we debated truth in media. I sat silent, notebook blank, while the prof droned about integrity. My friend Lena nudged me post-lecture. Earth to Eli. You okay? That rock on your fingers not blinding anyone less than a diamond. I twisted the ring, cold band mocking. Just jet lag from the fake life. She snorted, but her eyes sharpened.
Spill.
Josiah drama? Worse. Reality check. I confessed in fragments, the deal, the file, Victor's shadow. She hugged me fierce. Screw him. You're more than a PR stunt. But doubt clung like humidity. By noon, campus was abuzz again. X threads dissecting our fairy tale. Eli dumped the CEO? Kane crash. Lies spread faster than truth. Someone Victor? Leaked a blurry shot of me fleeing the penthouse. Comments piled. Gold digger exposed. Poor Josiah, played by a twink. I holed up in the library, stacks of fortress, but isolation cracked me. Flashes of him. The way he'd hum off-key to indie playlists. Burn toast but swear it was gourmet. Trace absent patterns on my arm during late-night talks. Real? Or method acting from a man who'd charm senators? Evening found me wandering Riverside Park. Hudson wind whipping tears I hadn't shed yet. My phone, recharged against better judgment, lit with a voicemail. Josiah's voice. Raw. Eli, I fucked up. Not telling you about the clauses. It was to shield us. Victor's blackmailing me. Threatening your future, my company. But the feelings? Those aren't in the fine print. Call me, please. I deleted it, but the ache lingered. Betrayal's a two-way street. I'd sold my heart for $20K, convinced myself it was noble. Who was the real fraud? Night fell heavy, decision evading sleep. Until a knock soft, insistent. I cracked the door, and there he was. No suit, just Henley in jeans, hair disheveled, eyes shadowed. 5 minutes, he begged. Then I'll go. Against every instinct, I let him in. The dorm smelled of microwave popcorn and unwashed ambition. He dwarfed it, pacing like a caged wolf. The contract's bullshit. I had lawyers gut it months ago, after the first real date. The one at Coney Island. Remember? Cotton candy and your laugh when the cyclone nearly killed us. I crossed arms, leaning on my desk. Romantic revisionism. What about Victor? He's got proof. Josiah stopped, close enough I caught his scent. Cedar, now laced with desperation. He's bluffing, mostly, but if he goes nuclear, it tanks everything. My board's circling. Rivals smell blood. I need you not as a shield. You. Laughter bubbled, bitter. Me? The prop.
No.
He stepped closer, voice dropping. The guy who calls me on my shit. Who makes boardrooms feel small because your world's bigger. Full of stories that matter, not just stock ticks.
Any.
Don't. I held up a hand, pulse thundering. You wooed me for reputation. Campus thinks we're endgame. But this. I gestured between us. It's a house of cards. His jaw clenched, pain etching lines I'd memorized. Then let's burn it down. Together. Or walk away clean. Your call. He left the ring on my desk. Symbol, shackle, promise, and slipped out. Door click echoed like finality. I stared at it till stars wheeled outside, weighing futures. Safe solitude, or the gamble of us. Morning brought clarity, sharp as frost. I texted, meet me, quad. Noon. No hearts, no games. Campus thrummed with pre-finals frenzy. Students hustled, oblivious to my storm. He arrived early, coat flapping in the chill, scanning like I'd vanish. No cameras, I said, handing him coffee. Black, like his soul, I joked once. No scripts. Agreed. We walked the paths, leaves crunching underfoot, breath fogging. I laid it out, trust rebuild, slow. No contracts, no clauses. Real dates, real risks. And Victor, I'll handle him, steel in his tone. Legally, no more shadows. We paused by the sundial, his hand hovering near mine. Why stay? He asked, vulnerable. After I. Because, I said, linking our fingers. First real touch in days. The heart doesn't read fine print. Campus watched, whispers rising, but we ignored them. That week we rebuilt brick by brick. Study sessions in his library, me quizzing him on pop culture while he grilled me on algorithms. A quiet dinner at his place. No staff, just us fumbling pasta, laughing at spills. Emotions simmered, deep and unspoken. His quiet pride when I aced a paper, my awe at his unguarded stories of loss. But conflict loomed. Victor struck midterms. Press conference. Unannounced. Kane's deception. Fake fiancé for stock search? Flanked by lawyers, he waved documents. Redacted contract pages, time-stamped emails. Reporters swarmed. My phone exploded. Campus turned tribunal. Protests outside admin. Chance of ethics or exit. My prof pulled me aside. Eli, this taints you. Withdraw the engagement publicly. I found Josiah in his office, City at his feet, face ashen. It's over, he muttered, screens flickering with plummeting shares. You should bail. Save yourself. Betrayal's echo Victor's mine. Now mutual? No. I crossed to him, cupping his face. Not without a fight. We're in this. His eyes searched mine, breaking. Why? Because love's not a ledger. Kiss then. First true one, soft and searing, tasting of fear and fight. We countered, joint statement, me at his side, voice steady. This started as strategy, but grew real. Victor's vendetta won't rewrite our truth. Proof dropped. Lawyers dismantling his evidence as forgeries. Board backed us. Stock steadied. Relief was fleeting. Deeper conflict brewed in quiet moments. My youth versus his empire. Dreams clashing with duties. What if I want journalism, not corner offices? I whispered one night, tangled in sheets, innocent hold but charged. Then you chase it, he murmured, arms secure around me. I'll cheer from the sidelines. Lies though, pressure mounted, his world pulling, mine resisting. A weekend in the Hamptons tested. Beach walks, but calls interrupted, his distance growing. Just work, he'd say, but eyes distant. Back in the city, climax cracked open. Holiday party season, his firm's gala redux. Victor crashed, bold, drunk on spite. Still playing house, Eli? He sneered, champagne flute raised. He'll tire of the college boy act. Josiah tensed beside me, but I stepped forward. Out. Your game's done. Security hauled him, but damage lingered, whispers, stares. In the limo home, Josiah erupted. I should have ended him years ago. Protected you better. By what? Locking me away. I shot back. I'm not fragile. You're everything, he growled, then deflated. And I'm terrified of losing it. You. Storm hit then, literal rain lashing windows as we ascended to the penthouse. Words tumbled. My fears of being the phase. His of dragging me into toxicity. I love you, he confessed, voice shattering. But if it's poison, it's not. I pulled him close, rain mirroring tears. We rewrite the ending. But dawn brought the ultimate betrayal. Not his, but fate's. My phone rang, mom, voice quavering. Cancer diagnosis, stage 3. Ohio called. New York blurred. I have to go. I told him, packing frantic. He nodded, masking hurt. Family first. Always. Airport goodbye. Hug fierce, unspoken promises. Come back to me, he whispered. I will. Plane lifted, city shrinking. Hook lodged deep. Love's test. Distances blade. Ohio winter bit harder than New York chill. Snow blanketing the flatlands like a shroud. Home was the same sagging rancher. Dad's truck rusting in the drive. But everything fractured. Mom's face. Pale. Chemo-cropped hair under a scarf. Mirrored my own hollow's Eli bug. She rasped, hugging weak. Tell me about the man who's got you glowing. Even now. I spun half-truths over weak tea. Josiah's charm. Our engagement a footnote to the real. The love that scared me with its depth. She saw through, squeezing my hand. Hearts don't fake easy, kiddo. Hold tight. Days bled into weeks. Hospital vigils. Mom's stories retold softer. Dad's silence cracking with gruff, proud of yous. I zoomed Josiah nightly. His face pixelated but present. Updates on Victor's retreat. Lawsuit buried him. Company stabilizing. Miss you, he'd say, voice gravel. Penthouse echoes without your chaos. Miss your burnt toast. I'd quip, but ache grew. Campus deferred my semester. Friends checked in, but isolation gnawed. One call, Lena's voice sharp. Eli, heads up, X is wild. Josiah's grieving posts? Fans think you ghosted him. I checked. Cryptic tweets. Him at Gala's solo. Caption. Absence teaches. Heart emojis flooded. But speculation stung. Eli bailed for the payout. Betrayal anew. Not his intent, but the narrative's twist. Mom noticed my distraction. Go back, honey. Live while I fight. Her eyes, fierce despite fatigue. Love like yours? Don't let it frostbite. Decision crystallized mid-blizzard. Flight booked. Ring repocketed. But en route, JFK approach. News pinged. Kane Dynamics merger bombshell. CEO steps down amid personal turmoil. My gut plummeted. Turmoil? Me? Racing to his office, security waved me up. Ghost of privileges past. He was packing. Boxes of plaques, view unchanged but air thick. Eli. Surprise, then wariness. You're back. Stepping down? For what me? Fury rose, mingling grief. He sighed, sinking into his chair, once throne. Board vote. Victor's last gasp. Fabricated emails. Me distracted by scandal. I fought, but leverage. Resigning clears the path for a clean transition. Leverage. I paced, echoes mocking. You threw it away. For a fake.
No.
He stood, closing distance. For us, staying would have meant more shadows, more Victor types. I want clean. With you. Tears hot. Mom's sick. I left her. Go back. Hands on my shoulders, steady. I'll come. After. But conflict crested. His sacrifice felt like chains, my guilt a noose. You can't quit your life for mine. It's not quitting. Voice broke. It's choosing. We clung then, in that gutted office, empire crumbling, ours fragile. I flew back lighter. Ring on, promises whispered. Mom rallied that spring, scans promising. I balanced virtual classes, hospital runs, Josiah's visits. Weekends in Ohio, him charming dad with bad jokes, holding mom's hand during infusions. Romance bloomed quiet. Stolen kisses in cornfields, his head on my lap as I read aloud from dog-eared Kerouac. Emotions deepened, his vulnerability, sharing boyhood losses. Mine, fears of inadequacy. You're my anchor, he'd murmur, stubble tickling my neck. Campus thawed to us upon return. Apology op-ed from me. Love in the spotlight. A reckoning. Whispers faded. Friends toasted at dive bars. Victor faded too. Settlement gagged him, karma's quiet bite. Yet suspense simmered. Josiah's sabbatical stretched. Offers poured. Consulting gigs, board seats. But restlessness gnawed. What now? He asked one June evening. Us on my dorm balcony, city alive below. Fireflies danced. Our fingers laced. Now, we build. I leaned in. No empires. Just us. His smile rare, full, lit warmer than skyline. But fate's not done testing. Summer hit humid. Mom stronger, discharged to home care. We escaped to the Cape, road trip in his vintage Mustang, windows down, playlist shuffling Springsteen. Beaches stretched endless. We swam naked in dawn coves. Innocent joy, bodies brushing waves. Laughter healed cracks. Him building lopsided sandcastles. Me burying his legs. Tickle fights dissolving into breathless holds. One night, bonfire crackling. Stars a canopy, he turned serious.
Eli.
Marry me. For real. Ring out new, simpler ocean glint. Heart seized joy, terror. After everything. The fakes? Betrayals? Especially. Kiss sealed, salt tanged. We're the rewrite. News leak gentle, ex-post. Us silhouetted by surf. From script to soul. Yes. Real Kane. Campus erupted, genuine cheers this time. But undercurrent stirred. Old rival, Victor's whisperer, unearthed dirt. Anonymous dossier to press. Josiah's hidden past. Youthful arrest. Expunged but exhumed.
Petty theft. Dead per statin po parents grats.
Kane's criminal closet? Scandal 2.0. Stocks of his interim firm dipped. Questions hounded. I faced it head-on. Podcast interview, voice steady. Past shapes, doesn't define. Josiah's the man who built from ashes. Honest, loving. Support surged, letters from fans, his story humanizing the Titan. But climax brewed personal. Confrontation at our engagement party. Low-key loft bash. Rival exec cornered him. You think love fixes fraud? Step aside, or we bury you both. Josiah's fist clenched. I intervened. Calm fire. Bury this. We're unbreakable. Brawl averted, but night ended raw. Us in cab, his head on my shoulder. I'm poison, he muttered. Tainting you again.
No.
I cupped his face. We're the antidote. Resolution whispered in afterglow. He pivoted. Non-profit launch. Tech for underserved youth. Echoing his roots. I graduated. Byline on an expose tying loose ends. Mom walked me down aisle, small ceremony, Ohio chapel. Friends toasting under harvest moon. Vows exchanged. In fakes and fights, I choose you. Kiss sealed, real as rain. But humanistic twist. Not flawless end. Doubts linger. Nights he wakes sweating old ghosts. Days I chase stories pulling me away. Love's work, not fairy dust. Yet in quiet, his hand in mine we stand. Engaged not to illusions, but truths forged in fire. Suspense eases, but life's plot twists on. We navigate. Therapy sessions unpacking betrayals, travels blending worlds. His boardrooms to my newsrooms. Victor, faded footnote, lesson in grace. 1 year on, rooftop where it shattered, now mended. Rain patters, he pulls me close. Worth the storm. Every drop. Laughter mingles thunder. Campus below buzzes. Oblivious to our private epic. From woo to we, reputation salvaged, hearts redeemed. The wedding was less spectacle, more sacrament. A crisp October afternoon in a weathered Vermont barn. Leaves aflame outside like nature's confetti. Mom, hat tilted jaunty over her new curls, walked me down the aisle on Dad's arm. Her grip frail but fierce. Proud, Eli Bug, she whispered. Eyes misting as Josiah waited at the altar. Suit charcoal soft, smile cracking his composure. No Forbes fatigue, just us, 50 souls. Lena officiating with rye vows, college buds toasting with craft IPAs, his old mentor wiping sentimental tears. I, Josiah, he began, voice steady but eyes locked on mine. Promise to dismantle empires for your dreams, to listen when silence screams, to love without ledger. Ring slide. Simple gold. Engraved rewrite. Sealed it. My turn. I, Eli, vow to call your bluffs. Chase truths beside you. Build not from ashes but sparks we ignite. Kiss tasted of cider and certainty. Cheers erupting as we ducked under an arch of wildflowers. Honeymoon whispered Cape Cod redux. Cottage on the dunes. No agenda but waves and whispers. We walked beaches at dawn. His hand warm in mine. Debating futures. My journalism fellowship in D.C., his nonprofit scaling to Chicago hubs. Long distance. I teased, toes in surf. Only if it's the kind with midnight drives. He pulled me close, salt wind tousling. Nights tangled in flannel sheets. Talks deep. His fears of fading relevance. My imposter pangs in big league newsrooms. Love deepened here, romantic in mundanity. Him cooking clam chowder, burnt, but earnest. Me reading op-eds aloud for edits. No grand gestures, just presence, mending old wounds. Back to reality, conflicts resurface subtle. My DC gig demanded relocation. His org rooted in New York. Weekends? He proposed over FaceTime, skyline behind him.
Ang traki romance.
But strain showed. Missed calls during crises, me dodging deadlines, him quelling donor dramas. Betrayal's ghost lingered too. Victor, paroled from irrelevance, penned a tell-all blog, vindictive drivel. Kane's calculated heart. We ignored, but paparazzi tales stung. Headlines sniping. From CEO to Mr. Eli. Downgrade or true love? Campus, now alumni circuit, watched with wry nostalgia. Reunion panel, me moderating. Love in the age of algorithms. Josiah guest spoke, charming the room. Eli taught me vulnerabilities, the real power play. Q&A turned probing. Fake start? Real end? Laughter bridged. But post-talk, a student cornered me. Was it worth the scandal? Scandal's just story, I said. Ours got a happy rewrite. Yet drama escalated unbidden. Holiday season. Mom's remission celebrated with a harpurcane feast, turkey and tech talk. Dad grilling Josiah on retirement plans. Laughter flowed, but mid-dinner, alert pinged. Rival firm poached his key team. Lawsuit looming over stolen IP. Josiah paled, excusing to call. Kitchen huddle, me, him, phone on speaker, lawyers barking timelines. Hostile takeover, he muttered post-hang up. They waited till I was soft. Anger flared, not at them, but the cycle. Fight it. You're not soft. You're human. Board reconvened emergency. He dove in, nights blurring. I supported from afar, DC desk piled with his drafts, strategy memos I fact-checked with journalist eye. Romance strained. Valentine's, him stranded in depositions. Me alone with takeout and regrets. Sorry, text read. Rain check on forever. Forever waits, I replied, but doubt crept. Was love enough against Empire's grudge? Climax brewed in spring. DC cherry blossoms mocking my wilt. Anonymous email hit my inbox. Dossier. Eli's blind spot. Josiah's offshore secrets. Tax havens. Creative accounting from mogul days.
Zenda?
Victor's echo or worse. Insider betrayal from his old firm. Heart hammered. I confronted over encrypted call. Explain. His end crackled, exhaustion thick. Old skeletons. Pre-you. I disclosed to the board. It's clean now. Clean. Voice rose. It paints you shady. Us fraudulent. Eli, plea raw. Trust the man, not the files. But trust fractured. I flew to New York unannounced. Dossier in bag. Penthouse, our home now, hybrid of my books and his art. Felt tomb-like. He arrived disheveled, brief in hand. What? Truth time. I slapped pages down. No es bien. He scanned, deflating. It's partial. Context. Post-crash, I funneled funds to survive, gray area, but audited clean years ago. I buried it to protect the brand. Us. Us. Laugh bitter. Or your rep again. Wooing me round two. Hurt flashed. No. I evolved because of you. But fear. It lingers. Storm broke. Words hurled like hail. My resentment at constant crises. His at my idealism, ignoring realpolitik. You think love erases history? He shouted. It rewrites it. I yelled back. But not alone. Silence crashed. We collapsed on the rug. Breaths ragged. Tears mingled, his first I'd seen, hot on my shoulder. I'm sorry, he whispered. For the shadows I can't outrun. I held him, storm ebbing. Then we faced them. Together. No more solos. Resolution dawned slow. Lawyers dismantled the leak. Fabricated addendums. Traced to ex-board snake. Josiah testified. Transparent. Media spun redemption arc. Kane's comeback. From closet to confessional. Humanistic core emerged. Growth, not perfection. We therapy tagged, couple sessions unpacking betrayal patterns, his control issues from orphanhood, my abandonment fears from nomadic youth. Love's messy, our counselor said. Yours just has spotlights. Summer reconciled us. Road trip retracing steps. Coney, Cape, Ohio for Mom's garden party. Laughter healed. Romance rekindled in campfires. His stories now laced with we. Campus visit. Guest lecture duo. Navigating scandals with heart. Students engaged. Questions probing but kind. Ending? One asked. Ongoing. Josiah quipped. Hand on mine. Best plots twist. Fall brought balance. DC base for me. New York weekends. His nonprofit thriving. Apps empowering queer youth in red states. My bylines covering it. Emotions layered. Deep affection in mundane. Grocery runs debating quinoa versus kale. Quiet pride in each other's wins. One anniversary. Rooftop redux. Clear night. Stars sharp. Still believe? He asked, ring glinting. In us? Always. Kiss lingered, city humming approval. Suspense yields to serenity, but life's gaykin lingers. Health scares, career pivots. Yet romance endures, humanistic in grace. Forgiving flaws, celebrating sparks. From CEO's ploy to soulmate's pact, we're the story that stuck. Years fold like well-worn pages, each chapter adding weight but wisdom. 5 in, we're settled in a Brooklyn brownstone. His sleek lines softened by my cluttered shelves. Rooftop garden blooming defiant against concrete. Mom's cancerous scar now, annual scans rituals of gratitude. She dotes on Grandpup Luna, our rescue mutt who snores like Josiah post-meetings. Dad's mellowed, video calls turning teasing. When's the kid, boys? We laugh, content in our chosen family. Career arcs intertwine. My journalism climbed, Pulitzer whisper for a series on corporate closets, exposing tech's pinkwashing. Josiah's pivot bloomed. Kane Foundation grants scholarships to out queer students. Boardrooms swapped for community centers. Your influence, he claims over morning coffee, but I see his grit. The boy from cornfields who dared dream. Conflicts mellow but persist, dramatic in domestic key. Last winter, donor gala in me keynoting. Him networking. Spiraled when a tipsy exec resurrected Victor's venom. Still the pretty prop, Eli? Josiah overheard, jaw tight. Post-event, cab ride seethed. You should have decked him, I half-joked, hand on his thigh. Diplomacy's my drag, he grumbled. But you? Firebrand. Home, it dissolved into pillow talk, dissecting triggers, his old imposter syndrome flaring. I wooed you once for show, he admitted, voice low. Now, I'd burn it all for this. Tears pricked. Embrace followed, love's reaffirmation. Romance thrives in such valleys. Spontaneous weekends in the Keys, skinny dipping under moon, bodies buoyant with trust. Or quiet anniversaries. Recreating that Thai takeout, scripts burned in a ceremonial blaze. Betrayal's final echo came unexpectedly. Reunion at Columbia, decade mark. Old prof cornered us. Eli, that engagement stunt, inspired my ethics overhaul. But Josiah, word is you're soft now. Josiah's laugh barked true. Soft? Nah, selective. Panel after. Q&A turned confessional. A student, wide-eyed. How'd you survive the fakes? I glanced at him, hand linked under table. By getting real. Fast. Crowd applauded. After, rooftop mixer, ironies nod. As stars emerged, Josiah pulled me aside. Remember this spot? Where I begged. Proposed fake. I corrected, smirking. Best mistake. Kiss deepened, city lights winking. Suspense of early days yields to steady rhythm, but life's kitsch tin persists. Global pandemic strands us in Ohio, turning farmhouse into command center. Me Zoom teaching, him virtual fundraising. Isolation tests. Cabin fever snaps, words sharp over dinner. You're retreating. I accuse one night, masks fogging emotions. Protecting, he counters, voice muffled. From failure. Reconciliation in garden. Digging rows together, dirt under nails, truths unearthed. We're pandemic-proof, he jokes later, arms around me as rain drums. Humanistic heart pulses stronger, mentorships, him guiding queer execs, me editing student rags. Mom's book club devours our story, fictionalized in my memoir, Wooed by Wolves. Bestseller, ironic. Josiah gripes at dramatizations. I wasn't that brooding, but beams at launches. Climax revisited, softer. 10th anniversary, Vermont barn redux, vows renewed, friends toasting evolutions. Through scandals and sabbaticals, I say, ring twirling, you remain my plot twist. His, and you're my happy ever after, draft one. No grand tragedy. By kitsch whispers in what ifs, had Victor won? Empire consumed? But we chose growth, Lang man in resilience. Cam suck layers. Pride swells at his TED Talk on vulnerable leadership. Tears flow when I accept an award, dedicating to the man who taught me love's the lead. One crisp fall eve Central Park bench, where romance sparked. Luna romps, we watch joggers, hands clasped. Regrets? He asks, silver hair catching gold. None. Pause. Well, maybe that burnt toast phase. Laughter rumbles. He pulls me close. Worth every char. Campus now legend. Tours point engagement elm. Students DM. Your story gave me courage. We reply, mentoring from afar.
Ending không hoàn hảo. Đau bớt flicker in quick house. Ambi tần túc.
But Nan Van shines. Love as mirror, reflecting best selves. From powerful woo to partnered peace, we're the gay American dream. Flawed, fierce, forever drafting. As sun dips, his whisper, here's to the next chapter. I lean in. With you? Always.